I love adventuring in California. Last year, around this time, I ventured to Point Reyes National Seashore and woke up early in the morning to complete a 9.5 sunrise trek to Tamales Point. It was my final day in Northern California before I would have to hop on a plane and venture to my next destination, and I was glad to complete the trek in really quick time. I ate a delicious breakfast of a cinnamon scone and hot chai from the general store, and I looked out on the beautiful landscape. It was only 9:30 in the morning, and I had time for a second trek. I went to the info desk and I asked the park ranger for a suggestion. I explained that I had already trekked over 9 miles that day and I had biked more than 30 miles the day prior. So a short, maybe 3-4 mile trek with a different view would be nice. And she proceeds to lay out a hike in which she explains, well, the first 3 miles are more of a climb than a hike, but it's pretty strenuous, but I think you can do it. And then she continued. And she talked more about the hike. She said you have a 1 mile climb here, there's 4 miles of seashore here, there's a mossy forest outlook for about 5 miles here, and I gave her a blank look and I calculated her suggestion, and finally I asked, ma'am, this looks like it's a little over 13 miles. Is that right? And she gave me a grin and she said, yeah, but I can tell you're a hiker and I know you can do it. And I figured since today is your last day that you would want to make the most out of your time. Trust me, this is our best hike, and you have a few turn-off spots if you get started and you decide you want to quit. You can turn off here, and just take your time. It's only about 10 o'clock now, and you have the whole day to finish it. And I walked out in complete disbelief. Is she crazy? My legs would be dead. I couldn't do that. I went to refill my water and I began walking in my disbelief of the suggestion. And next thing you knew, I was 3 miles into the hike. She was right. The first few miles were a climb. But I was so mentally distracted by what she suggested that I didn't pay attention to the step-by-step progress moving forward. I reached the first lookout point and it was beautiful. So I sat there for a moment and I decided, I guess I can go a little bit more. And so I continued through the dense forest that turned into an overlook of the mountain area. And I thought, maybe I'll go a little bit more. And I continued and I saw the mountains turn into a meadow-like area. And then I began to descend down the mountain. It's not too bad. Maybe I'll go just a little bit more. And so I went down the mountain onto the beach and I saw something that I'd never seen before. It was a waterfall on the beach. So gorgeous. And at this point, my legs were exhausted and I knew that I had to climb back up the mountain to finish the loop of the trail. I sat down near Alamiri Falls and I ate my sandwich and my drink, and I was the only person on the beach. It was divine. Y'all, this last couple of months has been a trek. If you're leading a team, if you're on a team, if you're leading yourself, it could feel like we've already biked 30 miles in San Francisco and hiked 9.5 miles this morning, and now we're tasked with going a little bit longer. But here's what I learned from the park ranger at Point Reyes National Seashore. First, she challenged me and laid out a vision grander than what I ever imagined, grander than what I thought. I didn't think of pushing myself. I wanted to coast the rest of the day. And she laughed at that and she said, no, this is where you're going. See, at the end of this trek, you're going to see amazing sights. You're going to be challenged. You're going to make the most out of your last day in Point Reyes. This is a temptation to go into survival mode, and perhaps that's what's gotten you through the past few months. However, it's time to enter into maintaining a thriving mode. She also didn't just challenge, she laid out a plan. She didn't just come to me with a smile and Donut Friday and say, okay, today we are entering into Thrive mode. No, she pulled out her map and she outlined the trek. She gave tips and advice for where the incline was steep, where the trail was challenging, for shortcuts, for trails with the best views. She pointed out really good rest stops, and she didn't say go there and then keep on going. She had some sort of an outline for how to be successful in making the most out of my time. And finally, she encouraged me. She vocalized her trust in my ability to complete the hike, and she reiterated the beauty and the worthwhileness of the trek. The park ranger couldn't go on the journey with me, but she could leave me with encouraging words and motivating ideas. Whenever you're on that journey, seriously, take it step by step. I'm not kidding when I said that I walked the first 3 miles just in disbelief of the length of the journey for her suggestion. But then I was 3 miles in. I might as well keep on going. One foot in front of the other, day by day, taking breaks when needed, enjoying this time, and making the most out of this season. Y'all, this is a long journey, but you've already made it so many days, so many months. We're already several months in, and some places are slowly beginning to open up more and more. So, here's what I want you to do. Challenge yourself. Challenge your team. Don't just coast in this time. Dreams don't survive in a survival mindset. Continue to dare to take on challenges, even though they might look a little bit different. It's okay to have them be different, but it's important that we still continue to dream and continue to enter in through a thriving mindset. We go one more trek. We go one more mile. We go one more step. The first 3 miles is the hardest, but guess what? You've already made it through the first few miles. And if you are going, you might as well keep on going, and you might even get to see a waterfall